Welcome, welcome, welcome to day 2 of Building Six-Figure Firm. I'm Margaret Mastery, your CFO strategist. And what are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about what you are offering is unique, how to look within yourself to decide, be able to interview them, and to be able to service them. Now that we talked about mindset yesterday, we need to talk about who we are going to work with, what we are going to service them with, and how do we look within to really decide all of that. And once we decide that who we are going to work with, we want to be able to interview them and to service them in such a way that is going to create value and at the end give us the money that we are looking to make. The first step is to choose a niche. What is a niche? A niche is a product, services, or interests that appeal to a small population. So a lot of people happen to work in the real estate industry. A lot of people work in the contracting industry. Now, when you talk about industries like that, it's still a wide variety of a niche. So real estate, you can have brokers, you can have commercial, you can have personal, you can have HVAC contractors. You need to be able to narrow it down in such a way that it specifically talks about more of an area of a small population. Why do you need a niche? There's many accountants out there who just service anybody and everybody, who will just call their phone and just service them and just live on that hamster wheel. You can When you service a niche, you can service that industry with your resources. So let's say, for instance, like a dental practice. You can teach them exactly when they need it, how to create a dental insurance plan for their team that services that type of industry and that their language and their lingo. Now, when you use their language, they know that you understand them and you connect with them in such a different way. You create a chart of accounts for them that services them, and then you're able to duplicate that process from one person to another. Also, you're going to know the problems that exist and the results you will know. So I know in my industry, so let's say like real estate developers, I know the problems that exist with them and the results I know as well that I can create with my service offerings. The problems that generally come up is that these guys are generally, or last thing on their mind is accounting. They're always on the fly. They are generally running their bank account minute to minute. They have loans. A lot of them are self-made loans as well. And accounting is generally something low on their pole and that they don't want to spend on it. But the results that they're looking for are high end, and it's servicing with them in the in-between. So many people want to find out about the industry first, being able to service the industry first before being able to take them on. But you do not need to know how to service them first. What happens is that I know with my industry is that I used to do real estate wide. I used to do contractors and all these sorts of things. But now I've become more specific in the real estate industry that I like to work with property managers, property management services. That from there, I was be able to create a service offering that services the people in those industry. Now, you're going to want to look for those to pay you first, and that is going to be your motivation to have that your plan is being proven that it works. So when I decided to move to real estate, what was happening is that I had a separate passion, but what was not proving my plan was until that I had someone who was going to pay me. So here's an example. You might have a spinal surgeon versus a regular CVS clinic. In a CVS clinic, they service anybody who walks in there. A spinal surgeon is somebody who specifically specializes in somebody in the spine, and they have a lot more delicacy and a lot more compassion for people in that area versus going into CVS and then they take care of everybody. Now, let's say the reverse. Let's say you didn't have a niche. How to find your business niche? That's really the question. It's almost like a dart against the wall. Lead gen will be different. Sales is going to be different. Service delivery is going to be different. So anytime you service a different client, these three areas are going to be different. You're not going to be able to compile one type of method, one type of strategy for your business and to be able to work off of that every day. So if anybody who comes in your business and you just keep on servicing them because they pay you money and then you build a team that way, your profit margin goes down as well. What happens in addition is that this creates a strain on your business, the service delivery, and your team building. Your business creates a very big impact on the business because the service delivery is not the same. You have to create it and you have to be open to new problems and new issues and new things that are going to come up. And then your team is going to create, is going to have that impact on them as well. With a niche, you can accomplish all sorts of things. You could have internal training. Your onboard will be similar. Serving them will be easy, and you're going to have margin improvement. You're going to be able to increase your profit. You're going to be able to service them, and you're going to be able to onboard them in a similar way and be able to create internal training as well. And that internal training, they'll always have that as things come up. So I know when I was formulating my company and redoing this, it was very hard to dip into that. But the primary reason is that it allows us to create more value for the client. I was able to improve sales. I can charge more time to run the business, create the business strategy, and you're not just a person doing accounting. And now let's talk about that for a minute. You're not just a person doing accounting. I currently have a client who's $7 million and they just have an accountant that's just doing accounting. Their bookkeeper, I had to give them this news that it was really just a fancy VA, paid $120,000 a year. It wasn't even a bookkeeper, and this guy didn't know that. He was just happy with the amount of sales that he was making. He was able to pay his employees, he was able to give them raises, and he was able to pay his bills and come home and to support his family. But he did not realize how much more was happening. Now, it's important to talk about what the difference between a niche versus a transformation. You want to start with one. You can have many transformations, but you want to have one niche, but you can have many transformations within the niche. So like now within my niche of real estate, I have accounting services and I have CFO services that complement that niche. So let's go over an example of some examples of niche and some of transformation. Being a niche is like a gym owner, attorney, a plumber, a retiree, not-for-profit, budgeting. You want to pick one niche with many transformations, but it can be one transformation. So transformations can be tax planning and prep, project costing, bookkeeping, forecasting. So these are the different ones that can come up so that you can pick your niche and what you are going to do for them. If you have a high value skill like project costing, you can start that way. So that would be considered in your transformation, let's say like if it was project costing. So you have the high value skill, and then you have all these different things you have to do, you can do. You're able to working productively in groups, expressing ourselves with greater power than logic can ever receive. You're sensing the thoughts and feeling of others. You're solving problems together, and you're building relationships. These are the benefits and the complements of having high value skills. And if you don't know if you have one, feel free to do a mind up exercise and see what clients are hiring you for so that you know what your skill is. There's a lot of niches out there. If you have too many niches, you have not enough profit, no service offering, random work, no structure to the business, and it's the wrong clients. So what happens is that you're just running in all sorts of different areas and you don't really know what's going on. So if you're running that way, that means that you're never going to go anywhere and you have the wrong clients and it's just random all around. And if you don't step back and talk and decide on a niche and a transformation, this is going to continue to happen to you. So you either decide that you want to run this way or this way. Any niche will work if you're willing to put the work into it. So the question is, how far will you go for it? You just need to start, and over time it will evolve. I used to just do bookkeeping. Now I do bookkeeping, now I do accounting, and I do CFO, and I have different levels of services on how I help them. Now, you also have to be willing to go far. You can stop your service offering at a certain point, but you need to be willing to go far with them to be able to really master the niche and to be the go-to. So a niche can evolve. So let's say, for instance, it's HVAC contractors. Let's say you're working in South Florida, and then you decide that you want to do all Florida. So over time, you evolve and you offer it in different locations. So how do we know how to service them? You listen to your strategy sessions and your interview. When you interview the clients and you have your strategy sessions, you listen to them. A great exercise will be is to listen to your recorded strategy sessions and see what you missed from the call. Listen to your interviews again as well and see what you're missing. From my interview, I realized that the clients were struggling with a lack of time. So I created an exercise in my onboarding process to help with that, to support them with that. Because clients used to think, it would always be comical to me is that people would think that they would have to get organized for me, but they didn't need to get organized for me. But what happened is that they were in their own head and they just never got anywhere. So I'm going to suggest that we look inside you to be able to create who do you really want to work with and your service offering. It needs to complement you so that you can wake up every day and really be an interest in them and love on them. I created an exercise of this that I'm going to be showing you at the end. So you want to think about who inspires you. What are your favorite books, jobs, and companies that you have been at? What are your passions? What are your interests? Do you invest in real estate? Would you provide here? Travel. So all these sorts of things that could be your niche on who you service. You want to create, you want to dream, you want to believe, you want to imagine, all happiness when it becomes to deciding your niche. It's really an exciting time. And if you have one and you need help evolving it, I would love to help with you as well there. So let's say you love to travel. You can be, and you want to evolve on that. If you do a lot of real estate is a lot of balance sheet work. Maybe that's not your thing, even though you invest into real estate. Maybe your passion is a lot on health, fitness, nutrition, sorts of things like that. Also, you want to think about what possessions you enjoy, like a house, hobby, stuff you spend time on each day. Like I personally spend a lot of time on fitness and health, and I do internal work, I do journaling, I do meditation, yoga, but it's something that complements my work, but it's not what I spend my work in. And at a point, it's what I help and I do in my coaching, but it's not what I do in MBS's work. But you want to look at what you do each day, your industry that you're excited about, to really look within. Any other areas that you do not put down is what you want to think about. You have all these hands that you have every single day. So something that we didn't talk about that maybe you want to put down and explore. You want to pick what you care about and what to learn, and not about the money. Because if you make it about the money, it's going to be, like we talked about before, where is that? It's going to be like a dart against the wall, where you just feel like, you know, where you're just going to put spaghetti against the wall and then just decide, which is not how you want to decide your niche to run your business. So we want to listen to our interviews. We want to look inside us. We want to see what possessions we enjoy. And we want to look at anything else that may come up. But you don't want to make it about the money. The second you make it about the money and you don't enjoy it, things break down and then all sorts of negative things come up. And then I suggest you go back to day one, our mindset, and pull out that champion belt and our positive mantras that we talked about. It will help you become more aware. Getting started is what is key, and not worry about the profit and perfect niche. So obsessively specialized, no niche is too small if it's yours. It's just a quote that I found that it seemed to be perfect here. But the key is just to get started and not worry about the perfect niche. It will help you become more aware, and as time it gets evolved and it gets more specific. If you think about the PayPal started out, they only serviced eBay power sellers, and it was like 20,000 people. And now if you look at PayPal, it's all over the universe. You're going to start small, and over time that you evolve. It is more about connecting with people. That's what's going to help you grow your company. You don't want to worry about being large and having all this team and an office and all these sorts of things. You want to start by making sure that you can pick your niche and you know who you want to work with. So I want to talk about, and we're going to close here today, and then I'm going to show you the 2 worksheets that I've built, is you want to build your story. You want to be pumped about who you work with every day. You want to know what you care about. So I have this friend who loved beer, but he wanted everybody to be in the beer. He wanted to work with people in the beer brewery industry. So what did he do? At home, he decided that he was going to buy all the things to brew beer at home. And he used this as a way to connect with the people so that he can connect with his clients and build relationships. I thought it was a great thing when I heard that, which is kind of like what you build your story. I'm going to stop sharing the screen for a second because I want to pull out a a spreadsheet. So just give me a moment. Okay, so I'm going to put this into our group. The first thing is that I want you to do this exercise, trigger awareness. Lots of times there's things that happen every single day that trigger us, that really can set us off. And this builds into our personality, on our being, on how we are every day. So it could be politics, it could be religion, it could be red lights. I had this friend who went to Starbucks and he would tell them that he would want milk. But every time when he bought the coffee, it didn't come with milk. So he would get the coffee and it would be all the way to the top, but he told them he wanted milk and it would piss him off every single time. Until he said, you know, skim medium latte with, you know, with milk. The way he said it raised an awareness to the person to give it to him that way. So you want to look and do this exercise on your triggers to see what bothers you. And then you want to see, is it true that each of these demands such a strong emotional response? Because you don't realize the pattern on how these things are tipping off into your work and into your personal life, into your overall day of how you spend your time. You want to review each trigger and see if a victim mentality is brewing. Then at the bottom here, you may want to take lines, and I'm going to put this in words so that you're able to do this. You're going to see how this, you know, confronts you in daily life, and what you need to do to get these awareness, these triggers to not really step into your life. So this is part one. The next thing I want you to do is what we talked about, is how to look within to help you choose the niche of what you're going to work, who you're going to work with. And if you already do work with someone and that you are happy with it, but you just want to evolve it over time, that's good too. And I'm happy to answer any questions within the Facebook group and on anything that may come up to help you get there. But this exercise, if you start with the triggers and then you will look within of these sorts of things, it's going to help you with being able to choose your niche. I look forward to seeing you in the next day, which will be tomorrow. And let me know how this goes with the exercise. Speak to you soon, and I'm excited that you are attending and enjoying the challenge.